So these two articles that I bookmark here on Twitter, or I guess I'll say these two reports, they actually work in tandem and in context. Gematsu reports that PlayStation 5 shipments topped 77.8 million units. Hazard Gaming also reports something about PlayStation and their business model and something that they've been pivoting towards that seems to now be gaining more emphasis. And spoiler alert, Xbox is already winning in this area, and PlayStation sees that opportunity and they want to get in there. The reality is, these two companies do their businesses alike. One would move in one direction first, the other one would probably follow suit, maybe copy, or maybe realize that this is where the money is, however you want to put it, and go that way. I want to see a competitive PlayStation because if they do not compete, Xbox is already smoking them in content delivery. PlayStation players are playing Xbox games, pining for Xbox games, and talking about Xbox's game subscription as seen in the PlayStation Plus subreddit, where a difference in quality thread popped up and had a lot of responses to the effect of Game Pass being much better than PlayStation Plus. That's even a third context to this. PlayStation 5 shipments topped 77.8 million, 2.8 million units shipped during the 3 months ended March 31st, 2025. What's crazy is these are the shipments. Apparently, PlayStation has a sell-through and a sell-in terms of their, console metrics. PlayStation 5 sales numbers. They have an official publication where they actually put it out there for everybody on their business sales data. You can go in and you can see all of that. For the PlayStation 5, they'll tell you as of April 30th, 2024, they have their sell-through at 56 plus million units. Now, as of the same time, their sell-in is at 74.9 million units. So here's what they're saying. They're saying that we've shipped all of these particular consoles right here, right? Famitsu is saying 77. So they've added more shipments, but the ones that have actually gone through in terms of, in the hands of customers, this is what we're seeing right now in that regard. So their business model tells you that they like to do the hardware thing. However, the hardware thing comes with a little bit of risk. You're going to have PlayStation units sitting around in this regard. Xbox in the same, probably most likely in the same vein, but people are saying that Xbox units are getting challenging to find. I guess maybe Game Pass has become something of a, I would say attraction for people. Even on this particular PlayStation Plus blog, you're going to see people saying that they have an Xbox of some kind as a Game Pass machine. Come read it yourself. It's here in the public eye. In this particular report, there are a few things that stood out to me. Software sales. They've always been the major metric because you sell your console as a loss leader, and you're going to see in this video PlayStation actually emphasize that this console sales thing is not where the money's at. They said this in this report. There's 124 million monthly active users on PlayStation Network as of March 31st, 2025, which is up 6 million from the 118 million active users during the same period the previous fiscal year. PS5 and PS4 software combined sold 76.1 million units during the 3 months ended March 31st, which is up 3.5 million from the 72.6 million sold during the previous fiscal year. 5.9 million units were first-party titles, which is down 6.4 million from the 12.3 million units sold the same period. So here's this particular statement again showing itself in the console sales metrics. Do y'all remember that Q4 of last year, PlayStation was also down in first-party unit sales, which tells you that the third-party side of their business is where a lot of their money is coming in. Therefore, in my opinion, exploding the narrative that these exclusives that they're making are so-called these games that people are jumping and pining on to play. Really isn't necessarily the case. I mean, there are literally millions of users who only play like one game on their platform, or a max of 2 or 3 games, or a select, kinds of games. For instance, the population of their active user base that plays only Call of Duty exclusively, which is over. I mean, as of the time they reported and we saw the leaks in the FTC trial, was a good number of people. Then you had like people who played 70% of their gameplay was only Call of Duty. Then you have people who played, I mean, these numbers are insane. And then there are people who are playing only Fortnite and FIFA, who only play maybe WWE 2K and these party games or community-based games. So what you're seeing now is these are the games that are making more money on PlayStation, and their competitor in this software realm has a good number of these third-party games going in there to make money. Now, what is the second piece and the context? The financial discipline that's necessary here is that Sony CFO Lin Tao on changes being made with SIE and also hardware price hike. They said, and this is a snippet from Hazardo Gaming Dragon of Dojima, shout out to you. You said previously focus was on sell-in units. Do you all remember sell-in units? Sell-in units are the ones that they basically have the big fat number for. The one that's big, right? Get these consoles out, get these consoles out, get these consoles out. But now focus is on engagement and monthly active users, which drives profitability. So apparently, those who have criticized Xbox's need and drive and move to acquire more monthly active users are now wrong. Officially, there's egg on their faces. Every single one of them. Why? Because they've always known, and I think many of them were very aware, that your business will thrive from software sales. And they said so. In the case of PlayStation, they just do the first-party games to bring people in, and then they sell third-party games. However, when Xbox went out there to sell their games, to acquire monthly active users, and push their own unique selling point, one of my audience members told me not to use the word value proposition too much. They said, try unique selling point. So I said, all right, unique selling point, Game Pass. Well, they got criticized for it, and wrongly so, because it's exposed the hypocrisy that's underlined the punditry all this while. And this is not the first time that PlayStation is actually going to affirm monthly active users as a significant metric, because the monthly active user is one that drives significant profits, because if they're in your ecosystem, they're spending money or spending, some kind of currency, or even at worst considering engaging in some level of currency on your ecosystem. Just like yesterday, if it wasn't that I was actually trying to troubleshoot some production stuff, because again, when you're making videos and you do different kinds of content, you got to have gear, and that's the fun part of this. You got to figure out how you organize stuff. I was thinking and considering getting myself Doom the Dark Ages Premium upgrade so I could play one day early, because I knew I'd be busy today. And I was like, man, even still, I'm just still so busy. I'd rather just allocate those funds to something else, because I was already 24 hours away from the launch anyways. And behold, the launch is here. And in my opinion, it's a game that has basically, attracted a lot of people. Reviews, even though I don't care for them, are looking good. And it was also highlighted in this PlayStation blog here that these folk on Game Pass are getting Expedition 33 and Oblivion, which we just got, and a new Doom game as well. A unique selling point that Xbox is offering, and is not only doing that, but is using the PlayStation platform as a marketing platform. It's a 30% fee with a 70%, cut in terms of the sales, and it's free marketing. I'm telling you, there's no better marketing that you can do for somebody to become a monthly active user on your platform. And the results are apparent. Indiana Jones The Great Circle is one of the new games on that platform. So is Oblivion, so is Forza. And these games are selling. When you actually take a look at the top 10 selling games, you're going to see one of them, or you're going to see either of them, or you're going to see some of them. It's all here. A very interesting and unique proposition. And it's making the money while it's cooking up and fomenting a reality to the PlayStation Plus user who is on that platform. For instance, this one that said, PS Plus is expensive for no reason. I wish we had Game Pass instead. You see, this individual, even though it's anecdotal, is showing a representation that some are looking towards this particular business, and even PlayStation themselves would love to see MAUs and engagement grow. The old school model of the console sales is absolutely insane simply because when you kind of think about it, ladies and gentlemen, it's not what really brings in the money. It is a dead, in my opinion, right? It's a dead metric to use to measure success of your brand, because the box, once it's out there and sold, if it made $5 or if it made -$5 or -$100 or -$200, you still have to compensate for why the item is out there. You have to support it with updates. You have expenses associated with this machine that is on you, right? Because you have engineers that need to keep the fidelity of the machine working with games out there, compatibility, and all of that. So that machine has to generate income and generate profits for you. So this statement today actually changes up the landscape once again as to how we understand the games business. Talk to me in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.